If you're new, my name is Meg. I started a jewelry business out of my studio apartment living in Nashville in my early 20s, fresh out of the pandemic with no formal business training whatsoever. And it's turned in over the past 6 years to a full blown business. My company is called ALCO. It's short for the Alchemy Collective. I started off this business hand making jewelry just to stay busy over the pandemic. And I was making necklaces made from string. Okay. It was nothing, nothing professional by any means. And I was actually a hairstylist at the time. So after the world opened back up, all the restrictions were lifted. All of the just really cheap jewelry that I was making just to stay busy, I was selling it in my salon. Just this year, I've started showing more of the behind the scenes. I've been so hyper focused on just building my company from the ground up. I mean, literally brick by brick. I have no investors. I am the sole owner of this business, and it has grown in massive ways, completely sometimes out of my control. I feel like I've just been on a rocket ship that's taken off with no seatbelts for the past 6 years. Unfortunately, I feel like because I did this for so long by myself and I was the social media girl, the content creator, the tax girl, the bookkeeper, the inventory orderer, I've worn every single hat in this company until I got it to a certain point where I was able to scale. I didn't really document a part of my beginning years, and that really makes me sad because although I have Instagram filters back from the early 2020s, I don't really have a ton of video footage to show. So my goal this year is to document more of that process. Today, I'm going to be telling you about a little collection that I have launching next month called the Origins Collection. It's something that I have worked so hard and invested so much time and money in. This collection, that is our first launch of 2026, is very special to me. It's called the Origins Collection, and it's where every other collection from this year will stem. It is incredibly intentional. Every single piece is designed to be layered together. It's all designed to be worn at the same time. Or, of course, it's your prerogative if you want to wear it alone. I'm really proud of it, and I think that you guys will see that connection between all the different pieces, whether it's the natural texture in the actual piece itself or the tiny little details like the hammered tiny little jump rings. Every single detail in this collection, from the jump rings to the extender to the new logo tag that's coming on later in 2026. Everything is so intentional, and I'm just very, very proud of it. This is a brand new factory that we decided to move forward with in 2026. To make a long story short, we were working with a factory. It was actually our first factory that we ever partnered with. That factory was superb. Honestly, we had great communication, a great product, great quality, and I was able to order with a pretty quick turnaround time with shipping. I was able to order smaller quantities, which was excellent news to someone who was just starting out and didn't have a lot of capital to start with. But over time, as my company grew, to be quite honest, we just started to see little communication errors or little mishaps in the shipping, and we weren't quite getting exactly what we thought we ordered. We were getting half quantities or just little things like that along the way. And what I started to realize is the factory that I was working with, although yes, they were great for where we started, that's not the factory that I'm going to be working with forever. I was really sad to kind of close that chapter, but ultimately I needed more than what they could produce and I needed it quicker. As that door closed, another door opened, and now I'm very, very happy with our new manufacturer. Their pieces are amazing, their quality and their work, and just the scale at what they're able to do is really incredible and completely aligned with where I want to take Alco and the designs that I have in mind for the new year and beyond. We actually have an employee on the ground that works in communication with Alco all the time. We are constantly talking to him. He's always sending us video back and forth. So that's been super helpful bridging that gap between customer and manufacturer. As we've worked with custom developments, this new factory requires higher minimums. They require multiple rounds of sketches and designs before we even get into the sampling process. I had to source a CAD designer. I had to find just the perfect person to bring our ideas to life because all I could really go off of were sketches and just designs that I had visually put together and tried my best. But ultimately, I needed something that was like a 3D model that they could spin around. They could see the exact sizing and the exact detail of what we're looking for. So we're able to take from just a vision to a sketch and put it into a CAD. And that CAD design then goes over to the factory, and then the factory is able to produce based on our wants, wishes, and needs. And then from there, they'll take it in and create a mold. And then that's when the design process starts to come to life. And they provide us with samples. We get the samples in person, we test them out, we try and break them, we wear them in the water, we make sure they're actually everything that we want the end customer to experience. If anything is not up to our standards, we send it back to the factory and we have them remake it based on our needs. From there, it's allowed us to fully bring to life fully custom designs, which is amazing. These designs are legally protected with our manufacturer. You will not find these pieces anywhere else. When I'm designing a full launch, I spend about 80% of the time going back and forth with the CAD designer because it's not perfect. 9 times out of 10, the first request that you send off is not going to be the one that you end up with. The ivory earrings is a perfect example. They came in super, super stiff. And I think ultimately what happened was it was a communication thing with us and the CAD, not with us in the factory. I really wanted these to be free moving. I didn't want them to have a lot of structure, nothing too rigid or stiff. I guess I didn't do a perfect job of describing that because what she understood that I was saying was completely different than the vision that I had. We had to go back to the factory, ask them to redo it, and ultimately came up with the perfect pair of earrings. I wanted these pearls on the inside to be free moving, lightweight, not be super stiff and rigid. So these ended up coming out perfectly, but it actually took a lot more time than we originally anticipated. The photo shoot day is when it all comes to life. We have huge shot lists that we somehow get through every single day. Our first priority is getting all of our wholesale pieces shot. The wholesale and the retailers and the boutiques that carry our jewelry, they're the first ones to see the pieces. Before the retail customer sees it, they've already booked the pieces the month prior. So it's really important that we get those product cards shot first before we do any of the styled shoots. We had a couple models come in for the very first time on this shoot, so that was really exciting. It was really a special moment having different models come in and just meeting some girls out in California. We are truly an East Coast brand, so it was really special going into uncharted territory and just seeing the support that came from our natural organic reach. Monica put up a TikTok and was like, model call, we're headed out to Palm Springs. And if you're interested and you're in the area, come shoot with us. And people showed up and that was really cool. Those photos are absolutely insane. And I feel like that area of Joshua Tree that we stayed in captured perfectly the vibes that I was trying to usher in with these pieces. And then of course, next, all that's left is our launch day. When I zoom out and I look at the calendar year of 2026 and I have all of these designs kind of mapped out in my head, one common thread that are through all of the launches is our natural raw textures, intentionally misshapen designs. That's our signature brand. At the core of ALCO, we are a very nature-driven brand. We love all things that are raw, real, and authentic. In an AI-driven world, we like things to feel real and tangible. I've really tried to share a lot more of the behind the scenes process. I think a lot of people didn't realize how long these launches take to bring to life. And so that's been really special to me. Like, we are a brand that is not fast fashion, and this stuff takes a long time, takes months to come to fruition. I think that's a really beautiful thing that sets Alco apart. And now that we're working with more natural textures and raw, real pearls, metals that are higher quality than what we've ever worked with before, like this is serious stuff. And it's super important that I share that with our community. I've never been more clear on where I want this brand to go. And I have very big plans for it this year. And I'm grateful that you chose to click on this video and be along for the ride. The Origins collection launches February 20th, and I am so excited to get these pieces into your hands.